Welcome back to the Business Blast. It's brought to you by our friends at Satco, satco.com. We do the light thing. We do the right thing, electrical distributors. That's right. This is Satco I'm talking about now. Sit 1960s, been in the game for years. If you're an electrical distributor and you want to have one company on your line card, it's got to be Satco. Greggy, what's up?
Hey, what are we at today?
So, when did we start the podcast, the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast? How long ago was that? 2017?
I think 17, 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's been 3 years. And we used to release one episode every couple months, then one episode a month. And then we went to one a week, and it was like, whoa, are people going to like it? And remember that? And then we started the Light Head Online video show with Scott Casa. It was actually, kind of more his idea. He's like, I just want to see the two of you guys chatting. And it just kind of like, we're like, what? Just me and Greg together? It's like, yeah, just you and Greg. Just talk about lighting. I'm like, no, nobody's going to want. And you know what? Next thing you know, we've got, 100 episode of the Light Head Online video show, something like that.
More, yeah, for sure.
And now we got the Business Blast, and we get views, and Satco's so good to sponsor the show and just get their brand and name out there. And so I think it was probably around 2018, I would get strange calls to my office.
Okay.
People saying, can I speak to Michael? And I'd pick up the phone and be some guy and be like, hey, man, I listened to your podcast and I just want to chat with you about, this topic or that topic. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, sure, man. I'll just talk to you for a bit. No big deal. I'd speak to them for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then after, I'd kind of feel like, what was that about? That was a little bit weird.
Right.
Like I felt used.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, like, okay, it's one thing to say, hey, I love the show, man. When's the next? I got an idea for the show. But they start asking me questions about the lighting industry, how it works, and what we should. And then I realized that I'm actually dealing with a strategist or a consultant who's giving advice to other people based on their conversation with me. You've experienced the same thing.
I have, yeah. It's been over time, the last couple of years for sure, and. Yeah, same idea. I just answer it and I say, oh yeah, we can talk. Figure it out.
And so then what happened was like eventually I kind of just started like, say, hey man, I'm really busy right now. Hey, let me email you something or whatever. And you know what, we can do a podcast. But that's not what they wanted. Oh, maybe you come on the show if it's good, we'll put it up as a show. No, that's not what they wanted. They wanted my advice. And I thought, So then you felt the same way. And you're like, I'm not going to get, like, it's one thing to like speak to someone who's quotations here, if you're listening on the distributed show, on audio only, fans. So we don't really have fans. We just have like colleagues that don't do podcasts that listen to our show. Probably a better way to put it, right?
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. And enjoy the type of guests we select in that. And those people, the conversation, they'll call me. It's like 3 minutes or 4 minutes. I'm like, I'd literally love you to do a show on this, right? Peter Brown called me up out of the blue. I haven't talked to him. I didn't talk to him for years. He's like, you guys got to do a show on this, man. And then next thing you know, he's done 3 podcasts with us. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like fun. But the guys, they start pinging you with questions like, what do you think is going to happen in the channel? Do you think it's like, whoa, hang on a second here. So we decided to offer consulting. And how has that experience been for you?
From my standpoint,
how do you feel about it?
It's a much better way to do it, to actually title it as something and allocate it as something versus just talking to anybody about it, right? Because we have our own jobs to do in addition to all the podcasting and everything else, and we don't really have the time to do it. So we needed to formulate a plan, which we've done, and I like it in a way because I'm. And you are too, we're passionate about it. And if you're going to be a consultant at anything, you have to have passion. You have to be interested in it. And that's what this whole podcast has been about. All of our podcasts and all of our discussions. And, I've known you, 10, 12 years. And all of our discussions have been passionate about this stuff for the last X amount of time. And it continues to be. It's probably growing even now to this point. So, yeah, I love it because we're passionate about it. And then the other part that I find that's I'm not trying to toot our own horn here, but we have the actual experience. Like we're out there actually doing this stuff Whereas a lot of consultants and people that we've talked about this on the show too. We go to a number of seminars, and it's like they've never sold a light bulb in their life. They have no clue what they're talking about. That's
Yeah, for
just
sure.
doing a general business and acting like they know the experience because they don't. I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying the
I would
majority
say
that
the
we've heard.
vast majority. I mean, we were standing at the back of things. This guy's never sold a light bulb to anybody in his whole life. There's no chance.
Right.
You can just tell by the way they're talking, and they're
Yeah.
consultants. And so, we decided to do this. And what's interesting is that, what's interesting about you and I is that we're of the same generation. We're Gen Xers, and we're the smallest generation, but we're also we're also business owners, and we do the same thing. And now we're very involved with our trade association. So we know a lot of people who do the same thing as us, but in different ways. And
Right.
what we're talking about, and we also have straddled legacy. So you've sold mercury vapor lamps in your life, right?
Yep.
SOX lamps. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what that is. You know how that technology works. You know how that business works. And then we had the first fluorescent energy efficient boom, the linear fluorescent energy efficient boom that we went through, all the while selling the legacy technology, continuing to sell the legacy technology on our order desks. And then we had the LED boom, which was totally disruptive, and we survived it, and we thrived in it, and we continue to sell the legacy technology on our order desks. And so we have a really good understanding of the lighting business. And so I think it's only natural that at this point in our lives, I'm 43, I think you're 40, that we engage in this thing. And I had a little bit of imposter syndrome at time, like I did with the podcast when I started it, but where I had this feeling like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Is so there's consultants that are trained to be consultants, and then there's consultants that have the actual experience talking about what the hell you need to know.
Sure.
and I'm not saying, in my opinion, I know which one I would say is better, is the one that actually knows what the hell what it's like, has gone through it, and that's why I feel, we're learning as we go to in it, but at the same time, we have a lot of knowledge from talking to different people and experience from actually doing it. So I think you can't get much better than that.
So when you listen to podcasts, so I listen to a lot of podcasts. Do you listen to many? You listen to audiobooks and podcasts and stuff like that as well, right?
Yeah, some not as much as
me.
you.
Yeah. So so I listen just like the people listening to this do, to lots of different podcasts and audiobooks and read news magazines. I really like the audio format. You can do something else while you're listening or whatever. And but one of the things that I think I've discounted, and I think this is probably going to be correct, is that when you've had so many conversations with extremely smart people, like what are we at, 150 Get a Grip on lightings?
Yeah.
Something like that. Running a business for 20 years, entrepreneurially, sales. Both of us spent a significant portion of our careers directly selling to the end user. Directly. Like that was both of our jobs. Still your job. I'm going to get back to it. Yeah. I'm doing something different right now, but I want to get that's where I'm hungry to get back to, get in front of people, talk about lighting. And so I think all those conversations, all those things that we've happened, I think we've discounted perhaps our level of knowledge of this business. And so we kind of stumbled into this consulting thing. And I think it's good for the industry, for people to know that we're available.
Yep. No, I think that's where it's at. And, I'm guessing that's how other consultants got into it too, but you got to have the experience, in my opinion, to know what you're talking about, to be able to educate people that are interested in knowing what the right move is, or what's coming in the future, or where things are at.
And the people we've talked to, they're consultants for themselves. And so they've been hired by corporations to go figure this thing out. And one of the stops on their tour is with the Get a Grip on lighting guys. And I think that's a good stop for them, actually.
Yep.
I think it's a good stop.
Absolutely.
And so, the other thing is that we've also added other consultants to our list. So we have other people that work under our consulting umbrella, that UV, health effects, all this other stuff. Like if you want to know how all that stuff works, we're here for you. And one of the things that I'm going to tell people right now about, and this is free consulting for you electrical distributors. It's free. I'm going to give you a tip. The best company, if you want to have only one company on your line card, if you want one company that can support the entire lighting portfolio from a product perspective, track lighting, fixtures, lamps, LED, new technology, innovative solutions, you got to go to satco.com, buddy. They have everything. They got warehouses all over the country. And the best part about Satco is they're great people. Awesome people to deal with. I mean, I'm not kidding you. It's not just that they have great pricing or they have lots of stock or they got good customer service. The people you encounter, it's a family-run company, passionate about lighting, deep roots in lighting. You go to satco.com. Why? Because we do the light thing. We do the right thing.